welcome to Unews. I'm Carolina Sarassa. Happy Tuesday, Feliz Martes, and thank you for being with us today. And we began this hour with the investigation into the apparent suicide of Jeffrey Epstein, the Attorney General promising to find out what happened inside the jail where the accused sex trafficker was being housed. Meanwhile, police are raiding his private island. Now, the alleged victims are pushing for Epstein associates to be held accountable. Andrea Linares has more details.
Virgin Island locals actually have several nicknames for Little St. James Island, names such as Pedophile Island and Island of Sin. According to one of Epstein's accusers, when she was only 15 years old, she was taken to Epstein's private islands and abused there along with other underage girls. The islands would also have been the site of any financial crimes committed by Epstein, which are currently being investigated. Caro, now back to you.
Thank you, Andrea, for that report. And now a new law is empowering people who were victims of sexual abuse when they were minors to file lawsuits against their aggressors, regardless of the statute of limitations. This could mean more lawsuits against, for example, the Catholic Church and the state of Jeffrey Epstein. Peggy Carranza has the details from New York City.
The one-year window to file the lawsuit starts on Wednesday and ends August 13, 2020. In New York City, Peggy Carranza, Unews.
Thank you, Peggy. Now, in California, an officer was killed in the line of duty and two other officers were also shot. All this after a traffic stop turned violent in the city of Riverside. The slain officer has been identified by California Governor Gavin Newsom as 34-year-old Andrew Moye. The conditions of the two officers who were shot are not known at this time. And now a friend of the Dayton shooter is now facing charges. Prosecutors say he brought body armor and helped assemble the weapon used to kill 9 people. Rafael Rodriguez has a closer look at what he told investigators after the attack. If convicted, prosecutors say Conley could face up to 15 years in prison. And now President Trump will headline a fundraiser August 21st for Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin. That governor is counting on him. Up, we have details on the young girl who appeared. And welcome back to Unews. In Mississippi, immigrant families are still struggling to return to normal after almost 700 people were arrested during a massive ICE raid. Lorraine Cáceres is in the city of Carthage covering the aftermath and the impact on the community. Lorraine, what is the latest?
That's right, Carolina. We're about an hour away from Jackson, some 20 minutes away from Forest, where we were yesterday. And this is one more of these communities that have been affected by these raids. A lot of the people that live here, in the Hispanic community that lived here, also works at these plants and are now like hundreds of people around this area without a job. And a lot of jobs that, have to do with not only the chicken plant, but businesses that were subcontracted by the chicken plant. So they're also affected, losing income as a lot of these factories, these plants are not hiring these subcontractors. So it's overall an effect that it has throughout the community on many businesses, not just these chicken plants. We came here because this community is a little bit further away and it's been receiving help in the past few hours, actually. We can say mostly since yesterday, where a lot of the donations that were pouring into other churches in other cities started arriving here. Basic needs like we've presented in the past few days, like diapers and personal hygiene, and also canned food and fruits and vegetables. The immediate needs that these families have in order to survive the next coming days, the next coming weeks, until the bigger problem arises, which is how to pay rent and how to pay the bills when money runs out and they still are jobless. So we'll have to see how this develops. Our community is obviously trying to rally support and donate money to help fund these expenses for the next few weeks. But I wanted to mention that yesterday we were outside of a hiring agency that was taking place in Forest, Mississippi, where Koch Foods, that operates 2 of the plants that were raided, was looking for new employees. They have more than 200 positions available, and a lot of these positions are probably not going to be filled, but because what we know so far is that about 30 people, 30 U.S. citizens went yesterday to try and get these jobs. Obviously, it was just the first phase, so nobody's hired yet. There's going to be a process of e-verify to make sure everybody's identity matches their social security number. But I just wanted to point it out because a lot of these positions that our community, Hispanics, were occupying are probably not going to be occupied by locals here. So it's still going to be a long journey for these plans to replace these workers. Carolina, that's all the information we have for now. So I'll toss it back to you. And of course, we'll be here trying to bring these stories.
And Lorraine, before you go, have we heard more about the possibility of potential future ICE raids?
Yes, that's what the White House is saying. They're calling the raids here in Mississippi a success, and they're asking ICE to conduct a lot more of these raids, especially in workplaces. But we know that so far ICE has said that these raids here in Mississippi are done, that they're not in the area conducting any more of these operations. So the expectation from a lot of people is that now ICE is going to move to other states that have similar plants and, farms that are hiring undocumented workers to try and prove that they're committing fraud. We don't know where these raids are going to happen next, but they are saying to the community here in Mississippi to not fear because they're not conducting any more raids in this area at this time. Carolina?
They do have to stay informed. Thank you, Lorraine Casares, for that live report. And now today we have a follow-up on the case of the girl that was seen crying, begging ICE to let her father go, but did not have any prior criminal conviction. That's according to and amid concerns of unsafe and unsanitary conditions at migrant detention centers, U.S. Border Patrol has opened its door to one of its facilities to showcase how exactly the agency cares for migrants. Pedro Rojas has more. On Monday, the Trump administration announced that beginning in October, immigration authorities will use a wealth test to determine if applicants can get legal permanent status. Acting Director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, Ken Cuccinelli, made the announcement yesterday. Make it easier to reject green card and visa applications for legal immigrants who rely on public benefits in the future. Today, we are joined by immigration lawyer Alex Galvez to discuss what this change will mean for many families. Alex, thank you for your time. And welcome back to Unews. An investigation is underway after a disturbing discovery on a flight. A passenger spotted a hidden camera in an airplane bathroom. As Paola Byron reports, the man suspected of planting the device is now facing charges. And that is not all. The FBI says it also recovered deleted files from the device on that plane, finding video from an earlier flight as well. That footage showed two separate women, including a flight attendant. And now a gunman is in custody after opening fire inside a VA hospital in Chicago. No one was injured in the attack at the Jesse Brown scare for the newest Fortnite champion and his family. Police surrounded their home while the teenager was in the middle of a game, believing the teen had committed a crime. Jorge Hernandez has more details. Rising tensions in Venezuela over accused called the heroic takedown in Sydney, Australia. Knife-wielding men went on a stabbing spree, attacking two women before others jumped in to take him down. Angie Sandoval has the full story. Now to Venezuela, where tensions are rising. The Maduro regime has warned that it might try to dissolve the country's National Assembly, which is currently controlled by the opposition. Interim President Juan Guaido learning of the crisis ahead of time and now reacting. Tagni Noriega has more. Hundreds of angry protesters gathered outside Mexico City's Attorney General building on Monday to demand justice after reports that a teen girl was allegedly raped by Sedano, with some trending tech news, including a new option from some Google users to bypass passwords. Annabelle.
Hi there, and we begin with this. Google has taken an important step into a future that doesn't require passwords. I'm Annabelle Sedano, and that was your daily dose of tech news. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you, Annabelle. And up next, several women come. And welcome back to Unews. One of the most celebrated and powerful men in opera now being accused of sexual harassment. Women say Plácido Domingo tried to pressure them into relationships by dangling jobs and punishing those who did not accept his advances. And now the Los Angeles Opera says it will investigate the allegations against the singing superstar. Miriam Arias has more.
So that was his statement. Now, the Philadelphia Orchestra is withdrawing its invitation to have Domingo sing at opening night gala next month. So we're already seeing some kind of repercussion for these accusations.
And Miriam, that presentation was scheduled for this coming August 25th. We're going to have to see what happens. And talking about these cases, we also hear accusations for Katy Perry for that video that we all saw.
Right, so it's a video from 2010, a teenage dream, and she's being accused of sexual misconduct by one of the models who participated in the video. He's saying she acted inappropriately with him at a party that they both attended in 2012. So far, we want to know what Katy Perry has to say. We have contacted her, but we're still waiting to know what she has to say about this.
Yeah, he finally came out to say that story on his Instagram account. Miriam, thank you so much for being with us today. And we'll see you guys tomorrow here at Unews. Have a great rest of the day.